It doesn't cost $1 to dream, and in my dream, everything's perfect. So I don't think about the reasons why or how tired I'm gonna be. I'm inspired by what I do, so I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm gonna make sure I do everything and be a parent every day, all day. I've been able to do it. People traditionally would say I was crazy.
Right.
They all did. And unless you have a dream that people think are crazy, then your dream is whack.
Right.
I dream big, bro. You can always make things happen, and you should never think about the reasons why you can't. You only think about the reasons why you can. I don't visualize the can't.
I don't give a fuck what your situation is. Nigga, you ain't the only one going through this shit. You ain't the only one that went through it. And you ain't the one that's going through it in the worst way. It's always somebody that's going through exactly what you went through 10 times over, 10 times harder. So I just want to say, don't take this shit personal, man. All my niggas, stay strong, man. And goddamn it, do the most uncomfortable things to change your situation, man. Sacrifice, go without. You got to do that kind of shit to change your situation, bro. And don't take it personal, because you're not the only person that had to do it. And believe, you feel me? Like, this shit ain't that hard, man. You got to just understand it's a game you playing. Once you understand this shit a game, and this shit ain't no coincidence, that this life shit is a real live game, like chess, like every fucking game that you gotta actually get to the finish line to get where you going. Once you look at life like that, you could do any fucking thing, bro.
Every situation is an opportunity, you heard me? It's a lesson. This shit only make me better. Adversity build character, so I welcome all challenges, whether they be mental, physical, or emotional. I'm excited. I ain't turning nothing down. You gotta accept it all. You gotta accept it how it come, man. The way I live my lifestyle, man, I believe in God. He ain't gonna put nothing on me I can't bear. But you know, you had to exhibit the behavior you had to exhibit to make me go with my move to become great. So I don't hate you. Right. I'm grateful
You're
for you.
building blocks.
Don't get scared by the result that you getting or the one that you ain't getting. Don't let that shit discourage you, man. Just keep working. Keep working. Keep literally work. Like, that's the only thing that gonna get you out of the hell you in. Work. It ain't nothing. Don't let nobody trick you. Don't let nobody tell you it's something different. Don't let nobody tell you one song gonna do it for you. It ain't. You gotta work. You literally got to work more than you complain. You got to work more than you think. You got to work more than you breathe. You got to want this shit more than you want to talk. You got to want this shit more than you want to anything in your life. Once you start thinking like that, it start happening how you want it to happen. When you want it, for real. Like, most niggas just say they want it because it sounds cool to say. You got to really want this shit, and you got to really sacrifice. Sacrifice, consistency, and patience. You got to sacrifice to get it, and you got to be consistent enough to keep it and patient enough to let it happen for you. Like, it gon' happen, but you gotta be patient enough to let it. Like,
see yourself as high as you possibly can, right? That's your first job, is to see it as high as you can see it. Be delusional even, to the point where to where your mind, right at the apex of what your mind believes is possible, maybe push past that even a little bit and define it. And then number two is like, believe it. You know what I mean? Like see it all the time and believe it, and whatever you got to do to protect that belief. My version of protecting that belief was I wasn't sharing this. I'm not even going to give my own mother the chance to try to bring me back down to reality. It's not going to happen.
Are you a superhero to your kid?
Absolutely.
Not when your boss is in the room. What's best for your kids is to put your money into something, the stress, go through all of it, so when your child becomes a man, he doesn't have to work for nobody.
Right, well, that's the
you
whole
can
thing.
just pass it to him. Can another man say you're fired?
Absolutely.
No one can tell me that. That's priceless. Do you think your son enjoys you calling somebody else a boss? Don't you think your son would rather wake up with you and you could pick him up from school instead of having to do a 9 to 5? Don't you think your son would love if his name was up there? I taught my son never to have a boss. He's 23. He owns a restaurant. He has cookies. He has equity. He busts his ass so he can pass it on to his son. If that's not what you hustling for, you're selfish. You keep saying I'm worried about my kids. You worried about you. My kids, you enjoy the safety and the security of a job every day. But there's no pride in that to me. But when you do something that's for yourself and your family, it never feels like work. I hustle for my last name. I don't hustle for my first.
I don't have to engage with the world. I create my own world around me. That's just where I'm at with it, you know what I'm saying? And protecting your energy at all costs.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be honest with yourself, even with your friends. Like, man, where you at, bro? Pull up. Can't make it, buddy.
I feel like you gotta embrace your position, you know what I mean, and not shy away from it. You a leader, people following you. So you gotta lead people to the lake and to success, because people gonna follow you regardless, whether you embrace it or not.
you gotta sacrifice for what you want. If you don't never sacrifice shit, that means you ain't want shit. Literally. You gotta know for sure what you gonna sacrifice, and then just go shoot at whatever you trying to get, cause you gonna get it. As long as you sacrificing something. As long as you got, see this shit for me, it like patience, sacrifice, and goddamn, basically that. Like for me, like to win, like the key to success, that shit really like sacrifice, patience, and consistency. As long as a nigga consistent, you gonna win, bro.
The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. On the head. It's radicals, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know who needed to hear this, but once you release the things that no longer serve you and you create space in your life, then you created room for all your blessings to come in. You know what I'm saying?
I just believed in the plan. On paper and just, you know, amongst the team, it always felt like it could work. It was a good plan. And that to be empowered the way we wanted to be empowered, to get to the level that we want to get to, that it was this route. And it seemed like you had to be comfortable being counted out at times. Because if you was uncomfortable with that, that will put pressure on you to make decisions that might be premature, might work against you in the long run. That's why I call my whole shit the marathon.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think it was a lot of pressure to like take the elevator or jump on somebody else's back or
ride somebody else's wave.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that worked for a moment, but the respect is what keep you in the game. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And the distinguishing yourself through how you get there, you know, is what people really, really at the end of the day say that I know his character from demonstration. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was what was most important. And whatever we could accomplish within that boundary, that's what we wanted. We didn't want nothing else outside of that until we was, you know, in a position to get that on our own and in our own way. And so every time we make a step forward or make progress, it count for that much more because we know how we got here. We know we kept it pure.
For sure.